It's your boy Steven Silver, and here I am at San Diego Comic-Con, and you guys can find me at silvertunes.com.
Can you give some general advice for new artists?
New artists, the most important thing that you guys can keep doing is know, again, the industry that you're moving into, and it's that constant practice. There's a lot of people that don't know that what they want to do necessarily, but if you're building up on your foundation, you're building up on your fundamentals, eventually when you're called to action, you're gonna be prepared. It's like just going into battle. I got all my gadgets, I know what I need to pull out, because you've done enough of it. So if you are lost and you don't know what you want to be or do, just learn that stuff.
Nice.
General advice, whether or not you decide to work in a studio setting or not, or work for clients, always have a personal project that you're working on for yourself. I worked in the video game industry, and there was a period where I spent about 3 years working on a project that I poured myself 100%, maybe more than 100% creatively into. After that 3 years, the project was dropped. And so I look back on those 3 years thinking, wow, I just gave my all to this project, designing someone else's world, creating all of this artwork, and then other people who were not as emotionally invested in it as I was, just decided to cancel the project. I learned at that point I needed to have my own projects that I was working on for myself, that other people couldn't just drop like a hot potato.
What animated universe would you want to live in?
The Dark Crystal, the world of Dark Crystal. It's one of my favorite movies from childhood, and I'm really looking forward to the new series that's coming out. So, and it comes out on my birthday, which I think, you know, I feel like there's some karma in there. So.
It's a sign.
General advice for new artists, I would say try to figure out what you like to do and do it. And I'm saying this because very often people see stuff that they like and they think they want to do it, and realize that like what they like to see is not the same as what they like to do. And it's very important for you to find what you don't want to do, because once you do it, you're going to do a lot of it, and you don't want to be sick of it. So yeah.
Thank you. We can point it this way.
Let's see, so general advice for new artists?
Okay, yes. So when I wanted to break into comics, they told me you had to draw a page a day. And that's a very daunting type of thought, right? But how I trained myself was that I didn't just go straight up and try to draw a page a day. I did it in strides. And I did it where I made sure that I can draw a full illustration of a character and within 24 hours. And yeah, it may not seem like a big feat, but as a thriving artist, to build up to that, it's a huge feat, you know? So what you do is you do that, and you turn off your monitor when you're done, or you walk away from your computer. If you can look at it the next day, you're on the right track. If you're flinching, then you need to keep working at your craft, and that's how I would gauge it.
General advice for new artists, I would say draw every day, draw as much as you can, always have fun with your art, draw what you love to draw, you know, put yourself out there. Sometimes people, you know, will be nasty, and just ignore those people. They're just haters and they're just jealous. But for the most part, I feel like there is a great community of art lovers out there, and you'll get positive feedback, and it will motivate you to continue drawing.
General advice for new artists. Yeah, I mean, if you're really starting up, just start making things you like. So even if it's not gonna look how you want it to be excited about what you're creating, I think that's most important when starting out. If you jump right into drawing 1,000 cubes, you're gonna have good looking cubes, but you're gonna get through like 200 and be like, I hate drawing. Like, drawing sucks. So, you know, do those like wonky anime drawings, do those wonky car and graffiti and, you know, portraits of people, do your studies, but do something you really like doing.
General advice for new artists is don't be in a rush. I know there's kind of that motivation to get working right away as quickly as possible, but if it's just a pride thing, incubate as long as you can, develop your skills, hit the market as good as you possibly can. Don't squeak in, be ready and kick the door down and be ready to compete with anyone who's out there, because you're gonna be.
General advice, I mean, there's so much to talk about as what you can do as a new artist. I think in general, it's maintain that excitement and enthusiasm to want to keep generating work. Jealousy can form an envy where you see others like, I want that right now, is very much a part of a natural reaction as a young artist. But I think as a general advice to that, maintain that fun factor. It's like, do you just really enjoy it? And I've been talking about this recently more about that side of an artist has to be completely committed and invested into it, where you're obsessed. So obsessed that when you're getting up and you're going to sleep, that's all you're thinking about. Literally, last night, I fell asleep to doing a commission, drawing. I woke up this morning thinking about doing it. We showed up here at 8:30 a.m. to Comic-Con, and the first thing I did was brought my book out and started drawing. So it's literally the waking moment to the moment I'm falling asleep. I am doing this. But it's not because, oh, it's a job to make money, or it's just a thing that I have to do for someone else. I'm doing it for me. So if you're not up to that point, there are people out there like me that are doing that. And there are even people 100 times better than I am. So if you're unwilling to commit to that degree, then I'm sorry, you're not gonna make it.
Boom.
Hey, I'm Brian Haberlin here at San Diego Comic-Con, and we do all these cool books for Image Comics, and we have our own artificial reality or augmented reality books that do all kinds of cool stuff and sculptures. ExperienceAnomaly.com has all our links for all our different social.
General advice for new artists.
On your portfolio, keep it small, short. 5 images, not 35 images. If someone sees your stuff and likes it and wants to see more, they will ask to see more. Plus, if you're not that confident with all the pieces, really cherry pick your best. So you've got 30 pieces you like, pick the 5 that are just the best. And then be ready to take the criticism from people. Don't use the excuse too. I often get people show me their portfolios, oh yeah, my printer was bad that day or whatever. That's why it looks that way. Don't even show that portfolio until you're ready to show that portfolio to people, okay? Pros know that it's an excuse. And you never want to start a portfolio review with any excuses.
Do you have some general advice for new artists?
Something which wasn't available to me as a student was the online content. I think that's really invaluable and a good resource that you can really tap into. And yeah, some of the courses you have to pay for, but relatively speaking, for going to a school, it's a minimal kind of amount of money. So they're really useful because you're learning from guys who are super top end. And then seek out advice from the people you admire, and don't be afraid to contact them, because really they're quite approachable in my experience. A lot of these people, they want to give advice, and most of them are approachable and willing to give you advice. So I'd say that. Get down to live classes. Try and surround yourself with people who are better than you as well. It's like anything, you hang around with people who are better and you'll get dragged along and improve, I think.
Who's your cartoon crush?
Oh, I really liked the chick off Gatchaman when I was a kid. You know, I think I maybe got some stirrings.
General advice for new artists?
Yeah, watch the Draftsman podcast.
Or listen.
Or listen, yeah.
Say that all over again.
Yeah.
Do you have any general advice for new artists?
Learn your craft. Get really good at your craft.
Oh, that was a different answer. Any general advice for new artists?
I'm guided by something I read in Norman Rockwell's autobiography. At the top of his easel, he had carved out of wood, it said 100%, and it was plated in gold. And that was to remind him that no matter how little or how much he was getting for the job, once the negotiations were over, he was going to do 100% of his best work. Now, that does a couple of things. For one, it really amazes your client. They end up getting more than they expected. It also makes you a better artist because you're pushing yourself to be better and better, and you should never stop that. You should always constantly be trying to learn to get to that next plateau of artistic excellence.
Draw all the time, really, really love it. Get into it, obsess on it. It's okay to obsess on art. It beats the heck out of alcohol or anything else. Join a good school, take any job you can get and do your very best work. Any job for almost any amount of money when you're breaking in, It's okay, not free, don't work for free, but well, that's not true. If it's going to be published by someone really cool, then work for free. But get your work out there, talk to everybody. It's not enough these days to have a website. It's not enough to just talk to a lot of people or take your portfolio around. Have your portfolio on your phone, always, all the time. Try to do it with friends who are also very serious. They'll pull you up rather than people who drag you down.
And be cool.
And be cool, yeah, because you can be good, fast, or cool. And if you have any two of those things, you are hired. And if you have all three things, you're set. But if you only have one, you know, if you're just fast, you're not really good, you're not really cool, it's not gonna cut the butter.
Nice.
General advice for new artists, draw every day, at least an hour. At least an hour.
Yeah.
If you go past that, incredible. If you can do 2-3 hours, absolutely. But definitely every day, make it a point to draw. I tell a lot of students to have a little small sketchbook, carry the thing around like it's like a cell phone. They can relate to that. So, you know, you love social media so much.
That's a good one.
So the same way you love your cell phone, love that mini sketchbook.
Yeah. Cool. That's good.
Man, I got Proko to say, oh, wait a minute.
That's good.
Credit me when you use that on your,
love
on
it
your,
like
on your streams.
your cell phone.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
Do you have any general advice for new artists?
A lot of times I get the question of like, how do I get a style? How do I stand out? If that's your goal, it can be very strenuous on your own productivity and on your art because, you know, a lot of times you end up trying to imitate people and then you feel like a hack a little bit. It's just baby steps, just like small goals. Instead of like, okay, how do I become James Jean? Well, James Jean obviously did his work and paved his way, so I think that's the best advice to do is just be consistent, produce a lot of work, and all that like stylistic nuances naturally rise to the top, and then you end up creating a body of work that's recognizable.
Who's your cartoon crush?
One Punch Man.
One Punch Man.
So what I say to my students usually is studying the masters for real into the museums, because right now everybody's too used to watch stuff online. So I see many of my students going like this, like swipe, right? And you can see a real painting from William Bouguereau or Caravaggio on internet. You have to be there, like you have to be very close to the painting and see the brushstrokes, the canvas, smell the museum, go to the museum, stay there hours, go back, drawing, copy the masters and absorb everything from them, and then add with the modern and mixing it together. So this is what I try to do.
What superpower would be good for an artist?
For an artist?
Yeah.
For me, I think it would be great like traveling back in the time and going to all the atelier of Bouguereau and looking him and steal his brush and pick up the colors and steal an original art and bring here.
Nice. Perfect. General advice for new artists, like brand new artists trying to get started.
If you're just talking about comic books, instead of just trying to knock on the big publisher's door and try to break in, and you should not stop doing that, but you have to do your own thing, you know, create your own products. Maybe you don't have the big outlet like, you know, the big publishers to print your book out there, but like I said, social media, you can put it online for free. And you know, it doesn't cost people a thing. So now it comes down to you on how hard you're gonna work and how often you're gonna put it out there.
Stay true to your own vision. Continue to do it even when you have the other work that you're doing. Just don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of that vision. Never compromise what you stand for.
If people aren't expecting you to produce something of a specific style, keep experimenting. And even then, every project you get is an opportunity to experiment even further. And that's the best way to grow as an artist, is like constantly experiment. There's a lot of people that I'll talk to that have been doing the same, like pencil and ink on paper and then like sending it off to a colorist. But then there's some people like Bill Sienkiewicz is a great example of somebody that just keeps getting weird. He just buys random pens from the store and is like, I don't know, I think I'm gonna use this today. But then he'll jump on the computer and start coloring stuff that way, you know? Yeah, it's all about the experimentation.
General advice for new artists is really keep that love of art close, because that is really like the gasoline that will get you, or hybrid electricity kind of car that will get you to your destination. That's the fuel. That's the fuel, is the love of art. If you're on a bad project and you don't like it anymore, it can drag on and on and on. And then great projects, the days just go by super quick and you get better at the same time.
What animated world would you want to live in?
First one that came to mind is gummy bears. I don't know why, but like, I definitely, that would be kind of cool.
That'd
you
be
drink
tasty.
some gummy berry juice and then you just like jump off a cliff and then bounce around and.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope all you new artists out there found this advice useful. We're only halfway through season 2 of Asking Pros, so you still got 4 more videos to look forward to. See you guys next time.